All right, everyone, we're about to begin, so if you want to grab your seat. I want to thank you guys all for a fantastic day today and yesterday at Pinstripes. I want to thank Trevi Catering for the delicious dinner that they provided tonight, ABI for our bar, and I'm going to introduce now Rob Coleman. Rob, fun fact, used to be a Progressive employee who worked in AutoPro, left to pursue his career as a comedian, and he hosts at the Improv. He has been on numerous open mic spots. He has honed his career alongside Cool TLC, Rob Allen, Ryan Dalton, Joe Wiley, Courtney G, and many others. He's on YouTube. He's got his own site. You check out his comedy. It's quite hysterical. So I'm excited to introduce Mr. Rob Coleman.
Oh, come on, we can do better than that. Give it up for Bill. I like to test the energy real quick in the room. Let me hear everybody say, hey, Rob. Hey, Rob. All right. I think y'all guys are ready. Like she said, I was an employee here from 1994 to 2001. This is like my first good job that I had. I'm gonna tell you what happened. When I came to interview here, I had two suits. I had a funeral suit and I had my wedding suit. And there was no way I was wearing my funeral suit to a job interview, right? So I wore my wedding suit, right? This is my best suit I had. Double-breasted, like it was the coldest suit I had. I walk in, the guy came out in a polo shirt and tan khakis. I said, sir, you are not dressed good enough to interview me right now. I told him later on in the interview, this was my wedding suit. And when he told me I got the job and was leaving out the building, they actually threw rice on me. I was like, I know this is gonna be a fun place to work now. But I worked back in the day, these same hallways, man, it's so surreal to be here because Peter B. Lewis would be in the hallways when I was walking the hallways. Anybody from those days, still, you remember those days, right? He would just be kind of like in the cafeteria. Yeah, one of the first places I met him was in line at the cafeteria. I was behind him in line, didn't even know it was him. He bought his lunch and my lunch. Man, I was down there every day looking for Peter B, right? This was a great place to work, man. It was, just the art, the environment, the parties, the people. It was such a great place to work, and I big up this place all the time to people and say, hey, you need to work at Progressive. They said, well, if you love it so much, why did you leave? Well, the answer is very simple. The security guards were really strong and well-trained. No, but I actually love to pursue a career in mortgage, and I started working in the mortgage industry, and you guys know how that went, right? So I keep yo-yoing back to comedy. So this is really a full circle moment for me. Give it up for me one more time and give it up for yourselves. So this is really truly a great place to work. I truly love Progressive Insurance now. So now let's get into the jokes. Who's having a good summer? Anybody having a really good summer this summer?
Yes.
Yeah, nobody? Come on, y'all having a good summer this summer? Weather's been beautiful, yeah. My last month was great for me. Father's Day, we had Father's Day last month. Where my fathers at in the audience? Any fathers? You have a good Father's Day?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, my Father's Day was great because I'm a simple guy, right? All I wanted was my wife just to cook something for me. And I don't know why I asked for that because my wife can't cook, right? As an example, she made me breakfast the other day and I said, babe, you burnt this. She said, I did. I said, yeah, and cornflakes ain't supposed to go like this. I don't know how you did that, but I've been having a great summer. That happened great. I had a class reunion in late June. Do you guys still go to your class reunions? Yeah, no, yeah, no. To me, a class reunion is like, Rob, let's take all the people responsible for some of the most traumatic moments in your life, put them all in one room and let them reminisce about it, right? Because that's all that happens every class reunion I go to. I wasn't a cool kid, right? I didn't know how to fight. I learned that I didn't know how to fight early in life. Remember in elementary when you would go outside and the class would form that fight circle around you and you knew you had to fight somebody and you hear the crowd go, ooh, and you know you didn't throw a punch? That was me like in every fight, but I didn't care. Monique was the toughest girl in the neighborhood. She beat everybody she went up against, you know. I tried to play sports for a minute. I tried to play football because that was the cool kids did. And people ask me all the time, Rob, what positions did you play? I played RB and LB. Ooh, running back and linebacker? Nope. Left bench and right bench, wherever the coach put me. Coleman, you on the left bench today, okay. I wasn't a cool kid, man. I had horrible luck with girls, you know. Girls is the whole reason I do comedy. Because my best joke growing up was, can I have your phone number? Girls thought that was hilarious. Can I have your phone number? Get out of here. So that's why I hated going back to class reunions, man. Sometimes class reunions, they hurt me a little bit because I saw all the girls that I thought I used to date. Because I was a friend zone guy, right? I was very much a friend zone gentleman, right? I remember one time I took a girl to Denny's and the waitress came out and was like, ooh, you guys make a cute couple. She looked at me and said, ooh, no, he's just my friend. And it hurt. I felt real bad about that. And I was sad until I realized we haven't ordered yet. An order for a girlfriend go way different than an order for a friend, don't it? The waitress is like, what would you be having? Well, I'll be having steak and eggs. I don't know what my friend will be having. You gotta ask her, right? You find out in the worst ways you're in the friend zone. I remember I asked a girl to go skate with me one time. I was like, would you like to go skate with me? She said, yeah, come pick me up Saturday. So I get to her house, her and her boyfriend come out the house. He said, so you taking us skating? The toughest thing I could say was, yeah, get in the back seat. I had a horrible time, man. Just dating growing up, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a cool guy, I was nerdy. You know what I mean? Girls did me bad. One time I was out at the club, a girl felt on me. I was like, oh, that was nice. Turns out later she stole my wallet. One girl I was dancing with on the dance floor, and she just left me dancing all by myself. All because my bus pass fell out my pocket. I said, girl, this is an express. I can catch any bus I want to with this. Ladies was not impressed, right? One thing I hated too about dating was meeting your girl's ex-boyfriend. I hated that, because I always compared myself, right? I was at a mall one time, and my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend came around the corner. He was a big guy, 6'3", covered with muscles, right? He see my girlfriend and was like, hey, what's up, girl? Picked her up and started spinning her around. I said, no, this dude didn't just pick my girl up. No, he didn't. I said that to myself, because he was a big guy, right? She said, this is my new boyfriend, Robert. He said, what's up, little man? And picked me up, too. I didn't just take it, though. I was at least kicking my feet out, like, why are you so strong? Put me down. But yeah, though, man, I had a hard time, man. But, you know, all that being said, I had a great time at the reunion. Heading back, you know, we went to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. Anybody been to Myrtle Beach before? Yeah, it's fun, right? But you have to, if you drive, you have to pass through a lot of small towns, right? A lot of little communities and stuff like that. And I found out in those small towns, they got old-fashioned restaurants, they got old-fashioned clubs, and they got old-fashioned police. This guy pulled me over and was like, you was going over the speed limit. I said, I'm sorry, sir, how fast was I going? He said, you was going 37. I said, sir, the speed limit is 35. He said, the last time I checked, 37 is over 35. I said, that's just 2 miles over. Who do I complain to? He said, you could complain to the sheriff. I said, okay, well, let me complain to the sheriff. This dude just changed his hat. He said, now you're talking to the sheriff. Do you want to bring it to the judge? I said, no, man, just give me the ticket. Just give me the ticket. I won't take that loss, right? But it's cool, though, man. I'm having a really good summer still, because 2023 was a bad year for me. Personally, you know, for one main reason, that Barbie movie. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all saw it? Y'all see it? Did you see it? It wasn't a bad movie. It just brought bad memories for me personally. Because when my daughter was little, she played with Barbies, and she would leave them all over the house. One night she left one in the bathtub, so I'm in there taking a shower. I reached down, picked the Barbie up to wash it off, and my wife came in the bathroom. So I was like, oh no. I put the Barbie behind my back. My wife said, Rob, give me the Barbie, our daughter needs to go to bed. I said, I ain't got the Barbie. She said, Rob, stop playing, let me see your hand. I said, okay. She said, Rob, stop playing, let me see your other hand. I said, okay. She said, okay, well maybe you don't got it. So she left. I reached back, pulled the Barbie out, and the head was gone. I was like, oh no. Now my daughter never played with that Barbie again. And we started buying her G.I. Joe after that, I mean. But I love having, you know, small kids, man. I love, you know, just the way everything has been going for me this year. And the way things are going this year is because of one main reason. I changed my attitude. And I suggest we all do this. At the beginning of the year, I changed my attitude. Instead of doing a New Year's resolution, saying that I need to lose weight, I need to get some fat friends. That's right. My New Year's resolution was get some fat friends. You gotta be 250 and over to be in my friend group. Don't send me a friend request on social media unless it includes your LDL and your HDL numbers. I need to know your clothes size, I need to know your medications. Don't be slim trying to friend me because my self-esteem is important to me. You know what I mean? And a matter of fact, I'm getting everything fat this year. I'm getting a fat dog. So when we go outside and play, I put a ball, we just look at each other. You gonna go get it? You gonna go get it? We just go back in the house. I'm getting a fat doctor. Yep, so that every time he said you need to lose some weight, I could be like, you do too. I'm getting everything, man. Because I kid about this, but if your doctor tells you to lose some weight, at least try. You know what I mean? Because it can, get a little, unhealthy or whatever. But just be careful where you go. Like I tried to go to Planet Fitness. And let me tell you, if there's anybody on this planet that don't care about your fitness, it's the people at Planet Fitness. I went on pizza night and bagel day. I mean, this is not a place that you need to be going if you're trying to lose weight, right? So what I found was I tried to get personal motivation, right? And one of the things that motivated me is clothes shopping. Because I have to go to the big and tall section. And y'all see the situation up here. I'm not tall. So to me, it's just the big section, right? It's like I go and I'm looking at shirts, and you always know you found the big and tall section because there's always a big picture of Shaquille O'Neal going, you found it. This is where you need to get a shirt right here. I can't wear a Shaquille O'Neal shirt. It looked like a dress on me. What am I doing? You know what I mean? So I have to shop at the big and tall section. So I'm trying, man. I'm trying to lose weight. Fellas, listen to your doctors when they tell you stuff too. Because women, they listen to their doctors. The only doctor a man goes to on a regular basis is whoever is working in the emergency room. Right? My dad never went to the doctor, but he would go to the emergency room. When I was a kid, he bought a nail gun. I was like, this is not gonna go well, Dad. He opened it and immediately threw away the instructions. I said, Dad, you probably shouldn't have threw away the instructions, right? I know what I'm doing, boy, leave me alone. A half hour later, all I heard was, ah! He came upstairs with a nail through his hand. I was like, all right, come on, let's go to the emergency room. You done messed yourself up. He was like, I'm fine, I'm gonna get the peroxide and the mercurochrome comb. Nah, you going to the emergency room. He never wanted to go. So fellas, keep up with your doctor's appointments. And I know it can get embarrassing. I'm in my 50s personally. So when you go to the doctor, it can get a little embarrassing. The last time I went, the guy greased up his hand, bent me over the table, and found that Barbie head. So I'm just saying, keep up with your doctor's appointments is really important. And I found something personal this year that I wanted to do as well, is get my money situation right. Because I have horrible credit. My credit's so bad, the last dude that ran my credit messed his credit up too. That's how bad it is. And I found out going to the bank, you find out in the worst ways, right? I went to the bank to try to get a loan, and they turned me down. They had me in there sounding like the rapper Lil Jon, because I was in the lobby like, I was turned down for what? Turned down for what? Turned down for what? Usher came out on some skates. Turned down for what? They was like, your student loans, are they behind? I said, yeah. They said, well, we can't give you the loan. I said, okay. But I found out the secret, man. I saw this guy get turned down for a loan, and he was not having it. he reached deep into the old mad guy dictionary. He was like, I'm perplexed. I'm flabbergasted. This is preposterous. Who can I talk to? So they called the branch manager, the regional manager, the district manager, and gave this guy a loan. So the next time I was in there, I was gonna try that. They turned me down. I said, this is supercalifragilistic. This is expialidocious. Who can I talk to? She called the security guard, the police, the army, the navy. I did not get that loan. But we in Cleveland, man, right? Clap it up if you love being from Cleveland, right? We very blue collar. We learn to get by with just, our meager means and whatever we make. People are happy even if they got a bad job. I ran into a dude cleaning toilets the other day. He was all in front of it, he got all in back of it, he got inside of it, and was like, how was that? I was like, fine, but can I get off of it first next time? Dang. You are doing your job too well, sir. And I know working at Progressive is a good job. I haven't worked here in decades, and I still be checking my account every December for that gain sharing check. It never hits, though. But people are happy, man. And as proof of that, I went over to my cousin's house last weekend. He was having a housewarming party. He didn't buy a new house, he got his heat cut back on, but it was the same difference, right? Hey, house getting warm, woo, woo. It was a party. We had a good time. And when you don't have a lot of money, you learn to live life like that. Like where my thrift store shoppers at? Anybody shop at thrift stores? Yeah, your old stuff is my new stuff, I love it. Right? As soon as you turn that shirt in, I'm getting that shirt. I love shopping at the thrift store because the stuff is already broke in, right? The sweaters already got lint balls, the CDs already got scratches, the Barbies already missing their heads. I mean, come on now. The stuff is already broke in nicely. I found a purple suit the last time I went to the thrift store. Had to buy it. 7-piece suit. Came with the jacket, vest, shirt, belt, socks, shoes, pants, and underwear. The underwear was a little itchy, but I rocked that suit for weeks. I went to church in it. They was calling me Black Joker. They was like, hey, Black Joker. I was like, ah. It was fun, man. You can find a hookup at the thrift store. I found a gift from God the last time I went to the thrift store. A Walmart employee vest. Do you know how much fun it is to walk through a Walmart with an employee vest on and you're not an employee? I was tapping on other employees like the boss want to see you in the back and he is not happy, right? I was in the employee lunchroom eating other people's lunches. Pushing kids over, People was asking me for directions, I was sending them the wrong way. They caught me though. They caught me. I was helping a customer take a 65-inch TV out to their car. The customer was me, so they was not happy, right? They was like, you fired. I said, I quit. But it was good, man. It's good shopping at the thrift store. And, I just come to the realization that I feel like God doesn't want me to have money. I feel like God doesn't want me to have money because I would do stupid stuff with my money. I already know. I don't have any money now. And I'm already negotiating with a funeral home to put a Jack-in-the-Box crank on the side of my coffin. Just because I think it would be funny to walk by at a funeral, right? It wouldn't be a funeral, it would be a funeral, right? You have to walk past it and crank it one time, right? I would get them to put springs and pulleys on me, so every couple of cranks I just pop up like, why did the chicken cross the road? Ah, he's still doing it. So I just feel like that would be fun for me, man, because I'm a comedian and my mind just goes there. You know what I would do if I was a billionaire? I would start a movie production company, but I would only make vampire movies starring Mike Tyson. Yeah, how funny would it be to hear that dude try to say Dracula for an hour and a half every movie, right? He'd be like, oh my God, it's Dracula, Dracula? It's Dracula, Dracula? Oh my God, it's the guy from Twinsa, Twinsa? It's the guy from Pennsylvania? It's the guy from It's the guy that bite people. No, Mike, you are the guy that bite people, right? It would be great. We could make a series of them, Fast and the Furious. We could call it Slow and the Hungry, right? God don't want me to have money, man. I would do stupid stuff with my money, I would do stuff like, I would replace the police taser gun, because it don't work. I would replace it with a tickle gun, right? I just feel like that would be a much safer and funnier way to stop criminals, right? Hit him with the coochie coochie gun, Charlie. Stop! Stop! I give. Right? I just feel like that would be amazing. That's why God doesn't want me to have money, you know. Anybody grew up cheap? Cheap parents, cheap fathers, cheap mothers? You grew up cheap? My dad was so cheap. My dad would say, boy, you better eat all the food on that plate. One time I ate a plate, I didn't know. I was like, you know, I was scared, you know. My dad would make me wear hand-me-downs, and the only thing I had was sisters. So that didn't work well, you know. My dad also would take my winter clothes that was too little into the basement at the beginning of spring with some scissors and come out a half hour later with my summer clothes. You try explaining to your friends while you're wearing a short sleeve turtleneck, all right? I'm hot and cold at the same time. You try to explain to your friends while you're wearing corduroy shorts. I mean, this is not feasible, Dad. This is not something I need to be wearing out here right now. It's very warm, it's very hot, you know? My dad actually is one of the reasons why I do comedy. He kept me out of a lot of trouble when I was growing up. He had a picture hanging on his wall of himself in a police officer uniform, and that kept me out of a lot of trouble when I was growing up, because when my friends saw it and they started getting older, they would never call me when they started getting in trouble. We can't call Rob. His dad is, you know, Popo. His dad is 5, we can't call him. And he kept me out of a lot of trouble with that. So I wanted to thank him. As he got older, I thanked him. I was like, Dad, I want to thank you, man, for hanging that picture up on your wall of you in your police officer uniform. You saved me a lot, getting in a lot of trouble. In your service as a police officer, he said, whoa, boy, wait a minute. I ain't no police officer. I said, what about the picture on the wall? He said, boy, that was a Halloween party. You didn't see the Indian and the astronaut next to me? We doing YMCA in the picture. What's wrong with you? That was a Halloween party. I said, Dad, I ain't know, you know? I ain't know. So, but he taught me a lot. And being cheap, man, he had me married cheap. I had a cheap wedding. You know, I didn't get married in no big church or cathedral. I got married in my apartment complex. You ever been to a potluck wedding? Huh? Ever been to a potluck wedding? Mine was, bring a gift and a dish. You know? People was like, you ain't had nothing expensive at your wedding? Did you have a limo? I had lemonade. I mean, that was close, right? But one friend was like, Rob, you was bragging. You said you had the finest cake in Cleveland. No, I had a cake from Finest, the grocery store in East Cleveland. That wasn't a good cake. No, not at all. You know. But now my wife is, we've been married a long time. And you know, I want to do expensive stuff for her sometimes, at least on our anniversaries. Our last anniversary, she was like, take me someplace expensive. I want you to take me someplace expensive. So I took her to the gas station. I was like, look how much it is for 87. You see that? Is this expensive enough for you? Tomorrow we can go to the cable company, we'll go to the gas company, you know, we'll take you to all the expensive places. I've been married for 28 years, man. Anybody else been married that long? Where are my married couples at? Anybody? How many years? You can finish, Joan. How many years? She like, well, let me think about it. 23? 33 years. Giving up her 33 years married, man. Some people can't stay married for 33 minutes. Anybody longer than 33 years? Yeah, okay. Listen, I'll give you guys some advice. If you are married and you're looking to stay married, find you a couple that's been married a long time and hang around them, because you find out all kind of cool stuff. My uncle been married for 50 years, and I asked him for advice all the time. He said, boy, you got to switch it up. You got to keep it new. I said, okay, well, what did you do for your 25th year anniversary? He said, I took my wife to China. I said, wow, what did you do for 50? He said, I went back and got her. I said, oh, you cheated then. That's cheating, right? He's one of them cantankerous uncles that, you know, does all kind of stuff, crazy stuff. He told me the other day he got some bad news from his wife's doctor. I said, what did he tell you? He said she's perfectly healthy, is gonna live another 25 years. I said, that's not funny. You know, but hang around with people, get some advice. At 28 years married, I'm actually entering another phase of marriage. And tell me if you're going through this too. The empty nest stage, right? Empty nest. This is literally a whole new stage of marriage nobody warned you about. You know, at least it's almost an empty nest. My son is still holding on to a couple of branches, right? I'm like, they call it empty nest for a reason. You know, I'm biting his fingers. But we're in the empty nest stage and we're relearning how to be married, right? Like fellas, I don't know if you are old enough yet, but I'm gonna warn you about this. You go through all the things you first learned in marriage all over again during the empty nest stage. Like for instance, you learn what's yours is hers, and what's hers, you better not touch it. Leave it alone. It's not yours, and it better be where she left it, right? Like, I give you a perfect example. I'm sitting on my couch. My wife is out somewhere with her girlfriends. And I want a snack. And I remembered in the refrigerator, we had some cheesecake that we bought from Cheesecake Factory. Where my Cheesecake Factory fans in here? Any cheesecake? Yeah, that cheesecake good, ain't it? And I remembered I had a slice of cheesecake that I bought a couple of days ago in the refrigerator. Now my wife gone. I'm like, oh, I got some cheesecake, and I'm a big guy, right? So I made up a cheesecake dance. Cheesecake! I'm about to get me some cheesecake. I'm dancing to the kitchen because I remember this cheesecake. Cheesecake! I'm about to get me some cheesecake, right? You know, when you're a big dude, you just dance for any reason, but especially for food. Cheesecake! I'm about to get me some cheesecake. I open the refrigerator. Cheesecake! Where is the cheesecake? Ba 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 my cheesecake. Ba 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 my cheesecake. Where is my cheesecake? There is no cheesecake. What happened to my cheesecake? I closed the refrigerator, and why do we all do this? I closed the refrigerator, thought about it for a second, and opened it back up again, right? Why do we always do that, right? I'm looking at places where it can't be, like the butter door, down underneath where all the spoiled vegetables are, the freezer. I'm like, where is my cheesecake, right? So now I'm mad. I called my wife. What happened to my cheesecake? She said, that cheesecake from 3 days ago? I said, yeah, what happened to it? She said, I threw it away. You threw my cheese? You threw my cheesecake? That was my cheesecake. I want that cheesecake for me. You threw my cheesecake? I thought about it, I was sad, and then I looked over the garbage can and was like, what time did you throw it away? Now, man, help me with this, right? There's a rule. If it's in the... okay, man, I see y'all looking at me funny. If it's in a box, and it's at the top of the... Hey, you laughing now. I mean, when women... I don't know, women probably wouldn't do this. But guys, help me out. The cheesecake is still in the box at the top of the garbage can. Is that good cheesecake or not? Yeah, thumbs up, man. Give it up, man. Thumbs up for the cheesecake, right? He just shrugged his shoulders like, I'll eat it. Yeah, man, that's still some good cheesecake, man. But you learn those lessons all over again, man. You know, my wife is the authoritarian, so there's no way that I'm gonna argue with her in the house. I learned that lesson early in marriage too. When our kids was little, my wife would come home from work early. I'll be upstairs roughhousing with the kids. She'll stay, when I come upstairs, y'all better have y'all butts in the bed. I don't know who she talking to, I get in the bed too. She come upstairs, I'm under the cover. She like, get out of bed, you gotta cut the grass, right? She's very much the authoritarian. Matter of fact, when we go to the grocery store, they fall out on me, they don't fall out on her. She could give them a look, a sound, right? She could give them anything and they will not fall out on her. But me, Daddy, why can't we have a toy? I want the toy. When is the last one, Daddy? Why can't I have a toy? I'm a comedian, so I fall right back out on them because I ain't got no money. I spent it all on your school supplies and trying to put you in the best schools. They get mad at me like, Dad, stop falling out on us in here. You're embarrassing us. You know, they started giving me the talk before I go in the stores. Now, Dad, don't you fall out on us in here, right? I'm like, I don't know. I might, you know. Anybody with small kids? You guys got small kids? Ever had a kid fall out on you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard show. Right. You know, you just do what you can. You do what you can. Just fall right back out on them. That's what my suggestion. Just lay right on the floor next to them. I guarantee you they'll stop. Get off the floor, Mommy. But I'm learning all those lessons, man. Like I said, my kids are grown now. I miss when they was little. You know, you're gonna take a lot of pictures, give them a lot of hugs, videos, because you're gonna miss when they was little, right? My kids, when they were little, one story I remember, they wanted a dog real bad. Now, I'm an old school dude, right? And when my kids came to me and was like, Dad, can you buy us a dog? I was like, buy a dog? When I was little, you caught a dog. You didn't buy a dog, right? You went outside with a piece of lunch meat and a jump rope and came back an hour later. Hey, Dad, I got a dog. Right? What'd your father tell you? Put him in the backyard. You got to take care of him. I ain't taking care of him, right? But that's what I told my kids. Go catch a good dog. My wife was like, don't tell them that. Go to the pound and see if you can get a rescue dog. That's what she told me. So we go to the pound. I take my daughter and son. They got dogs from the floor to the ceiling. I'm like, wow, I didn't know it was like that in there. So I'm looking like, wow, it's a lot of dogs in here. My son was like, Dad, it's a lot of dogs. I said, yeah, it is. He said, what do they do to the dogs that they don't sell? I was like, oh, I didn't think about that. And I got sad because I didn't want to lie to my son, right? I want to tell him the truth. And I was like, Dad, I don't know, boy. If they don't sell them, I think they put him to sleep. And he got real sad and was like, Dad, how they put him to sleep? My daughter was like, they tell him some of Daddy's jokes. I was like, what? Wait outside in the car. You can't. But that's when they were little, man. That's when they were little. You appreciate the stories when they were little. You know, my daughter and son are kind of pretty much grown now. My daughter is 28. She lives in Columbus. Lives in a nice community in Columbus. And she actually has a dog now. She has a little French Terrier Bulldog mix. I don't know if you've seen these. French Terriers with the ears. And I love the dog, right? It reminds me of myself. It's small and black and think it's tougher than it really is, you know? If you see this dog at the window, it's barking and everything. The dog is this little. Deer, squirrels, you know, chipmunks, whatever. One time I opened the door, the dog was like, why are you doing that? I didn't mean it, I'm just doing dog stuff. This is what dogs do. I didn't want to really go out there, you know. But I love it, man. Do we have dog lovers in here? Yeah. Do we have cat lovers in here? No. Yeah, I feel like I like dogs a little bit more. Because dogs is cool. You could call dogs cool names, you know, Thor, you know, Hulk, you know, you got like all these cool names you could call a dog. Cats have cool names too. They just don't care what it is, you know. Snowball! Snowball! She'll come when she's ready, right? So just shout out to my cat owners, man. You guys are very brave. I appreciate you for taking that chore on. So, my daughter, once again, like I said, is a typical millennial. I think that's millennial, right? 28? Is that millennial? Or is that Gen? That's the end of millennials? Yeah. Typical millennial. You gotta be careful anything you eat in their house. Like one time I was in Columbus for a show. And I said, baby girl, I'm about to get on the road. Can I get something out of the refrigerator? Because I don't want to have to stop and get nothing to eat. She was like, Dad, get whatever you want. So she had a couple of brownies in the refrigerator. And I'm looking like, oh, okay, those look good. I'm a big guy. Those are brownies, you know. It's kind of like a moth flame situation, you know, when that happens, right? So I grab a couple of them and some milk. Okay, dude, I'm going. I'm hitting the road. Should have asked her. I should have asked her. Because about an hour into the trip, I started patting my pockets. I forgot my car keys and drove all the way back to Columbus to let her know. I knocked on the door and was like, have you seen my car keys? She was like, Daddy, you ate one of my brownies, didn't you? I said, no, I ate two. She said, lay down on the couch. Don't go anywhere. Stay here. You gotta ask, man. You gotta ask, you know. That's why I like working at Progressive, man. You guys are progressive here. I want to give you guys a shout out because I don't know if you guys realize this, but I think Flo is the only female representative for an insurance company, for a major insurance company. Is that right? Like no other major insurance company has a female spokesperson, right? Yeah, so that's very progressive, man. I'll give it up for you guys. Not only are you guys progressive, you're being a progressive. You have to be a cartoon, a lizard, or an ostrich to get a job anywhere else, right? You would hire an ostrich over a female? Come on now, y'all. And I love Flo, man. I love her. She's, you know, she's been the spokesperson for a long time. All the commercials are funny. Only thing is, I wish they would get her a co-mascot that raps. And they could call the mascot Hustle, right? And the commercials could be Hustle and Flow, right? And they could be like, it's hard out here for an insurance company. I mean, I don't know if you guys seen the movie, but like I said, man, this has been a joy to be back. You know, I appreciate you guys sticking around and listening to these dumb jokes and even giving us a try. As far as I know, this is the first time you guys have tried to do comedy, right? So yeah, judging by the reaction, this might be the last time, but but at least you guys gave it a shot. So my name is Rob Coleman, man. I got some business cards if you guys would want to hear any more of these jokes. I had way more jokes than this, but some of them got vetoed. So follow me online if you want to hear some some different versions of some of these jokes. But I hope you guys have a good time. Did you guys have a good time? Yeah. I want to thank Melanie for bringing me. I want to thank Steve Trevi from the catering company. I want to thank, all of the management that worked with me to get me in here. And I especially want to thank you guys. Look, this is a great place to work. Appreciate it, because I really didn't appreciate it when I was here, and I miss this place every day. I truly do, man. Progressive was great to me. I learned so much in my professional career here, and I carry it with me in my heart. So you guys are, even though I haven't worked here in decades, you guys are still like family to me. So I appreciate and love all you guys. Thank you guys for laughing at these jokes again. My name is Rob Coleman, and I'm out. Thank you guys.
Jerry, what do I want to say? Thank you, Rob, so much. It really, when I proposed, I took a risk. I'm new. My anniversary in PL Control was last week, and I've been here 18 years, but I'm new to this group, so nobody really knows me. And I said, I got invited with Jerry on the planning committee, and I said, I got an idea. And that became the recurring theme. I have an idea. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows Rob, right? But I said, hey, we work